Happy Monday. We have a lot to get to.
Yeah, it must be April, right? Because now we're talking temperatures that are hovering on either side of 80 degrees and the potential for some severe weather because, of course, with that warmth, with the springtime, we also have springtime thunderstorms. So very active next 24 hours or so.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get right to it as we're at 3:36 this afternoon, tracing some storms that are moving in from our west, just now pushing in to the Bedford area, and you can see it's producing a little bit of lightning. I'd say less than a handful of lightning strikes as these individual cells continue to push into southern Indiana.
But what we're looking at right now, this is the lower end threat of seeing some strong storms. I mean, there is potential of one of those storms turning strong, but that is not our main focus. I think moving forward overnight tonight through tomorrow afternoon, that is definitely going to be the time window of seeing the threat, a significant threat of tornadoes that have great strength. EF2 or greater is what we're talking about. So listen to this forecast. We want to make sure that you are weather aware. There's two separate rounds that we're watching for the greatest risk of seeing some strong storms. Overnight tonight to early tomorrow morning, around 1 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock, that is when we could see flooding, damaging winds being the greatest risk. The tornado risk is still there overnight. It's not going to be at its highest until afternoon tomorrow when we get some of that sunshine. I think if we get a dangerous tornado, it's going to be from noon to 7 p.m. tomorrow afternoon and evening. If we get that sunshine, if we have clouds stick with us around 10, 11 o'clock, that might be our saving grace. So it is possible, if not likely at this point, to see severe weather tomorrow morning throughout the afternoon.
Then, in the wake of all of these storms, we're looking at a pattern flip for the middle and late part of our week. We're going to be going from 80 degrees down into the upper 40s and lower 50s, likely going to be dealing with a wind chill to round out the work week as well. So kind of roller coaster weather here. We'll get right into it and talk about that threat because it is a significant threat really all across Kentuckiana and especially farther to our northeast. The Cincinnati area has a level 4 of 5 issued by the Storm Prediction Center on the severe weather potential scale, and I have not seen a level 4 of 5 this close to our area in quite some time. Now that's just telling us that whether we're level 3, 4, it doesn't matter. All of us have that increased risk of seeing these storms become strong to severe. Severe weather at this point tomorrow afternoon and early evening is looking very likely at this point. However, if you have friends, say, toward Evansville, Indiana, the threat is lower, but it is still there. Again, specifically for tomorrow afternoon and into the early evening hours, I'd say from about noontime forward. We also are going to be talking about the potential for some flooding, especially overnight tonight. Heavy rain is going to be one of those main threats that we're looking at. Right now we have that flood watch that is in Jackson, Jennings, and Lawrence counties there in southern Indiana, as well as Jefferson County, Indiana for this evening through tomorrow. Franklin County also is included in this watch. So we have heavy rain overnight tonight as one of the main threats, low risk of tornado overnight, and damaging wind where we could see wind gusts over 60 miles per hour. So getting right into Futurecast here, Colleen, we start to, or I should say continue to see those scattered thunderstorms really from here forward. And we'll continue to see that activity pick up even as we head into tomorrow morning.
Yeah, so from now until 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, really not going to see all that much, maybe an isolated thunderstorm, but I think that risk will really start to pick up with that line starting to develop around 4 o'clock in the morning with this one model showing heavy rain. So this is where we could see that flooding threat, damaging winds along that line, and around 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, we could see that tornado threat embedded in this as well. So make sure you have multiple ways to receive alerts overnight tonight. This is going to be a significant risk throughout the morning tomorrow. So Paoli, Scottsburg, Madison, really targeting areas north of Louisville throughout the first half of the late night and that, or the second half of the late night and first half of the early morning tomorrow. Advancing one more time, we're looking at that threat of seeing significant tornadoes in the afternoon. When we get some sunshine and we get these isolated cells, These are the time windows that we're going to have to watch very closely from noon until 7 p.m. tomorrow. That is going to be that window of potentially seeing some strong to severe storms. So when we're talking around 1, 2 o'clock and we start to see those cells start to fire up, maybe around Jefferson County, also Scottsburg, down to Hardinsburg, tomorrow midday into the afternoon, if we're going to see a violent tornado that's potentially long-lived and creates significant damage, it's going to be during that time window. JCPS is off for spring break, so that's good. The kids are at home, so you don't have to worry about that added stress. You're at work, if there's a tornado threat, your kids are at school. Make sure that they're aware. I would try to stay indoors tomorrow, maybe not be out on the roads, because you do not want to be caught outside and not in the basement if a tornado warning happens to fire up here. Now, we are using these terms sparingly, but we want to make sure that you're prepared because it does look significant. Now, let's talk about that possibility, Christina. If we have clouds tomorrow, that will be our saving grace around 10, 11 o'clock noon. If we have clouds, it could limit those storms from firing up, and that will be great for us because that means that risk is significantly lower as we head towards the afternoon.
And that's really going to be the deciding factor here. If we start to wake up, potentially you're seeing some of that sunshine out there, then things could certainly not go our way when it comes to seeing incredibly strong, severe thunderstorms and even a couple of tornadoes. But seeing some of that lingering moisture later on in the morning and just complete cloud cover, that's really going to limit that potential. So really going to be watching for that as we head into tomorrow morning. And we're not saying it's going to be storming all day long. You notice here, still largely dry on the Kentucky side of the river, but that does not mean that you're out of the woods. In fact, it tries to form a line. I don't know that it fully will ever get organized enough to form that line, but regardless, we're looking at that significant threat of seeing these storms become severe, bringing very gusty to potentially damaging wind, which, as we know, we could wind could cause just as much damage as, say, a weak tornado could. So that's nothing to take lightly. Also, notice these temperatures. We're going to be approaching 80 degrees yet again for tomorrow afternoon. That, in combination with the incredibly soupy air that you've probably noticed as you're sitting outside today, does not make a good combination for when it comes to those severe weather ingredients. And that's why we're saying that all modes of severe weather are going to be on the table for, we'll call it a little over 24 hours from now through about 7 o'clock tomorrow evening.
I also want to note at this time, around 4 or 5 o'clock, notice that most storms are southeast of Louisville. As the day goes on, as we head towards 5, 6, 7 p.m., that threat will start to come to an end for us here in Louisville, and that will move out. So I think around dinner time tomorrow, we'll say that the severe weather threat is over. So it's really tonight through tomorrow afternoon is going to be that biggest window of seeing severe storms. So that is when the time is going to get better for us and move off to eastern Kentucky, as well as over into Ohio, still going to see those impacts there. And
we'll, of course, be able to give you kind of the all clear as those storms continue to push off to the southeast so that you don't have to be concerned at home or worrying by any stretch. We want to make sure that we're limiting that as much as we possibly can. Now, moving right along into our threats, which I know we've, of course, already touched on, but hey, it never hurts to keep harping on this because we are looking at a potentially significant event. So that strong wind, we keep harping on this, but over 60-mile-per-hour gusts aren't just looking possible, but are looking likely with any storm that gets going from basically now through 7 o'clock tomorrow evening. Will have that potential to produce strong to damaging wind, as well as large hail. So we're talking anywhere from about a quarter-size hail to golf ball-size hail, even up to the size of a hen egg, which is about 2 inches in diameter. Just incredibly large hail going to be possible with this complex of storm we're going to be seeing. Flash flooding, as we just showed you, we have that flood watch for us. And we'll go back to basically the rundown. Bottom line of all of this is just
we have a comment coming in from Brandy Cotton. If you have any comments, feel free to comment below. We do have to wrap this up shortly because we have a 4 o'clock show to get to, but I want to make sure that we answer your comment. Brandy Cotton, I just found this live. What's happening tonight? When will it hit southern Indiana? So this is a good summary. Southern Indiana, you are under a level 3 out of 5 risk for seeing severe weather, including tornadoes. There's 2 different waves that we're watching. That first one is tonight around 1 o'clock in the morning till 9 o'clock, with the main risk being wind and hail. There is that tornado threat, but the tornado threat will be greatest tomorrow afternoon from noon to 7 p.m. So if you live in Scott County, all across town, all across Kentucky, southern Indiana, and northern Kentucky, we are under a significant threat of seeing some tornadoes. And going over that SPC outlook real quick, level 3 out of 5. So it's not guaranteed that we're going to see something, but all the ingredients are there. And especially if we get some sunshine tomorrow afternoon, we could see a violent tornado here in Kentucky, Indiana. It's significantly over in Cincinnati. So if you have family in Cincinnati, it's a level 4 out of 5, meaning it is likely that they will see something significant in their communities. So at this point, it is possible. It's not guaranteed, but all the ingredients are there to see it.
And I'd say, so basically the bottom line, what can you take from what we're telling you right now is that now would be the time to prepare for this. Make sure you have multiple ways to receive watches and warnings in case one's issued in your neighborhood. Go ahead and charge up your phones, your flashlights.
Yes.
Make sure that you have your weather radio, fresh batteries in that as well. Of course, we don't say that to scare you. You kind of touched on that earlier, but we are very meaningful with these words when we say it. We don't say it often unless we really do mean it.
The best thing you can do is be prepared, and you know, if a warning does happen to pop up in your neighborhood, have that kit ready with shoes, flashlights, pillows, helmets, anything you can do to keep yourself safe. Go into a basement. If you don't have a basement, go to an interior portion of your home, because we are under a significant risk. Yes, the biggest risk is during daytime, so that's good and also bad at the same time, because those afternoon storms have the most potential with feeding off of that sun that provides that energy to create some of those violent storms. So still a level 3 out of 5. Madison, Indiana, off to the east and into Cincinnati, it is definitely a more significant risk for you guys. We are going to make sure to keep you updated overnight tonight. We have a full team of meteorologists here, so go ahead and click the like and share to let everybody know about this risk, and you can follow us on all of our social media sites. I'm meteorologist Colleen Peterson, and this is meteorologist Christina Sanjuan. We have temperatures in the 70s, which could create some of those strong to severe storms. Behind it, we're going to have much cooler weather.
And thank goodness for the sunshine that will finally be returning as we round out the work week Thursday and into Friday. Yes, it is going to be quite chilly, especially Thursday, as we're factoring in that wind chill to the already cold air temperatures in the upper 40s, hovering right around 50 degrees, but slowly getting right back on track as we head into the weekend. And for Eclipse Day on Monday, if you're curious, just touching on that really quickly, does look like we're going to have some clouds around, but at least not going to have to worry about the cold.
Yeah. So we have more people commenting in. Amy Snyder, can you post the timing? Melissa, thank you for the heads up. You're welcome. Amy is tagging her friend Kenzie. Jenna's asking E-Town timeline. What about Carrollton, Kentucky? We have a 4 o'clock show, so you can tune into WHS 11 on ABC. We're going to be talking all about this impact. And we will make sure that you guys stay updated. So we have a 4 o'clock show that we have to get ready to. When we finish this Facebook Live, you can watch back. So once
That's
this
right,
ends,
yes.
you can watch back and you can watch this whole video. We just went through the timing. We went through that forecast model. So if you need that information, go ahead and share this video. We're going to end it here right now, but stay safe, stay updated. If you have any questions, you can go ahead and reach out to us and watch WHS 11 News at 4, 5, 6, and 11 p.m. tonight. And if there's any warning, we'll make sure to cut into programming and post on all of our social media sites.
Thank you so much for watching. Everybody stay safe, and we will be doing our very best to keep you informed throughout this period.